to just hire someone overseas. And contrary to popular belief, they speak fluent English.
One, I could probably get into a little more AI, but I'm working on my technology skills with that. But for the most part, they require people. And you can manage the systems, but when you're dealing with certain type of people, they need that coddling. They need to be managed. They need to know that you care. And sometimes, unfortunately, you just want your business to go. It's not about caring all the time for you. Now, I mean, it's unfortunate. I hate saying that, but these are things that you have kind of fostered for years. And at the end of the day, even though I might like you and I may enjoy you, I started on this journey for a purpose and a reason. And it's very important to me that that mission and that vision is followed through. I am.
Yeah, I mean, but all of that goes back to work ethic. And I don't know who you want to blame for that, if it's the parents, or is it just what they're seeing every day on social media? I mean, you can, that's debatable as to what is causing a lot of the 20-something-year-olds to just not want to work. And the ones that do work, their work ethic is just poor.
Right.
It's terrible. I don't really have the answer as to why that is, but that's usually why a lot of business owners struggle because of that, which is why a lot of those entry-level jobs are being sourced in the Philippines.
Yeah.
And people, it is a lot easier and less expensive to just hire someone overseas. And contrary to popular belief, they speak fluent English. And they are excellent workers. They're excellent workers. They keep you on your toes.
Yeah.
They're calling you like, what more do you need me to do? Where if you have, staff that comes in here, they're on their phone. Every little break they can get. It's almost like having children.
Well, yeah, and I really do feel like this generation, it fosters that mentality. I mean, because they almost are born with that phone in their hand, and they feel like everything that they desire in life, they're holding in their hand. And in some ways, it's true. It is true.
It is true.
But you have to choose wisely and choose something that you can do from here.
Yeah.
Don't choose these things that require hands-on and require time, because that's what it expects success. You know what I mean? You expect success, but you are not putting in the time, the effort. And a lot of entry-level positions do require that time and that energy and really that learning process, that learning curve that has to take place so you can then work from your phone. But
so that brings up an interesting point, because with knowing that, and we both have had situations where we've had staff and it's a struggle to manage staff. And anyone who has been a business owner for an extended period of time, they will tell you that is one of their biggest expenses, payroll.
Yes, for certain.
And it is one of the most difficult tasks to keep everyone on task.
Yes.
So then it brings you to another question. If you had to do it all over again, what type of business would you start? Would you start a business that did not necessarily require you to have employees? Or would you start a business where you could automate pretty much everything?
Well, I mean, I think that kind of speaks to where you are in life. I think when I first started out, it was very important to me to provide jobs to my community, to my sisters. That was a really, even though it was fun for us, I also knew like what I was charged to do.
Gotcha.
And I really felt like this is what I was doing. I was called to do this. I brought in the best talent. Even at a young age, I really knew how important it was that we would be on the same page. even if it was like we on the same page, we all going out on Friday night, we all right. It was just very important that people saw that we were a team and that we were on the same page. And that manifested itself in so many ways. I mean, as a young entrepreneur, I mean, I think my goals were totally different, obviously, than what they are now. It was important to me to win the hair show. It was important to me to be in all the hair books. And this is when I was strictly doing salon business. So the things that were important to me at that time, clearly, I don't even think it was about the bottom line. I don't even know how much effort and energy I put into that. But fortunately, the bottom line worked. It really did. So I almost got a lot of that experience on the job. I mean, sometimes I was having to learn, how do I even handle this amount of money to do this, to do that, you know, because at that point it was right. It did. And fast. I don't even know if I was expecting or if I put the time and the energy into it for my very first business. So it goes to show how having the right people around you can make a big difference, because I really feel like we had a huge impact on the beauty industry in that short period of time. My first salon that I opened at 21, I had for 7 years before I moved on to a whole nother project. And my idea of success with that time, I really do feel like we checked every box that we had in front of us.
At that time.
Yes.
That made sense.
Yeah.
And even hindsight, would you change anything?
I really think, well, I think I did make the changes, honestly. Once I decided to move to a different area. And I almost had to do that because when my mind started to shift, I cannot always say that the people were ready to shift with me.
Right.
So in that case, I almost had to remove my own self from my own business. And this time when I did it, I went through SBA. I literally really worked hard on a business plan, a vision, and demographics, all of the things that were taking place that was necessary in the 90s to do these things.
Right, yeah.
So I definitely went into the next project very clear.
Yeah.
Still some of the same goals and wanting to provide jobs for my community and really feeling charged to raise the level of the industry that I was in. So I think that has kind of always been one of the core values when I'm dealing with the salon life, so to speak, is to elevate, because if people really knew the amount of money that some of these stylists make, yeah. So to elevate the way people view your business was extremely important to me. Because although we are, as I often say, we are here to serve, I don't necessarily want to be treated like a servant because I'm here to serve you.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that can happen in this industry. And as I said before, some of my girls that were in some of the top PWIs at that time that I had to pay for their vacations, I'm not saying my friends specifically, but these are the same women as a group who kind of like, oh, well, look down at you. When I'm like, listen, girl, I've been doing this way before you even thought about having, you know what I'm saying? So I think for me, I felt charged to make sure that I provided the community as a whole with something that they could be proud of. And it's something that they could see differently. Unfortunately, we kind of headed back in that direction, for sure. But that's a whole nother story for another day.
I was going to say, I do think that the salon industry doesn't get the respect that it deserves. And just even hairstylists, they're looked down upon as not being very smart, not being extremely savvy per se. And I do think some people look at it as if, oh, you need my money. Oh, you need to do this and you need to do that.
Interesting.
And we're clear that every stylist does not operate with dignity. We're clear on that. But for the cosmetologists that run their business in a professional way, they're not always treated well. And I don't think people hear that side of it, the disrespect that they sometimes get from customers.
Right. I mean, I can remember feeling so many times that they always, well, I won't say always, I can remember feeling that they felt that their job was way more important than mine. But yet you're still in here receiving a service from me. It's just like, I have a call. I got to.
Almost like you're the maid.
I have a client. Yeah, I have a client right after
Like
you. So no, I
cooking my
can't
house.
wait for you to go outside and take your 30-minute call. You know what I mean? But like I said, I have always tried to elevate the industry to a certain standard that I'm operating in a way that you're seeing in a timely manner. I'm not always gonna say it's gonna be like literally the moment you walk in, but in a timely manner, and making sure that the service that you receive, that you really,
for sure,
can appreciate and respect. So sometimes when I get that energy onto me, it is, I don't take it personal. I understand that in some ways, this is what they have been accustomed to. So like I said, I'm trying my best to shift the mind and provide a service that maybe they haven't seen before. So the next time they come, they'll be on their P's and Q's. That's the way we do
We hope so.
Right. Yes.
But we all know, I think that's a whole nother conversation. Like the struggles that stylists, makeup artists, and beauty professionals have to deal with in dealing with the attitudes. And even, especially when you've had a bad experience with another service provider, having that expectation when you walk through the door and the energy that comes off. It's horrible.
Right. Sometimes they run it down.
The energy.
Right. They never hear themselves when they're running down the last $6 and the reasons why.
Yeah.
Kind of one common denominator. But, that's neither here nor there.
Neither here nor there.
Right.
But it's interesting that you said that you would not have changed anything. Because as you get older, we all get tired.
Oh, definitely.
You be tired. And you don't want to work anymore. I hear that a lot from not only my clients, but friends. Everyone is just like exhausted. They're tired of, and of course, we're just tired of working all the time. So that's why I asked, wouldn't you go into a business where it was more automated or where it required less hands-on?
Like I said, if you asked me this question post 50, maybe yes. But prior to that, no, I just felt like I was very clear. And I really felt like it was easier to find people that were willing to be on board and be a part of a team and follow the systems. I think post-COVID, so many narratives have been fed. And with this whole social media piece, like there's so much information coming at people.
So much. Everyone thinks that they can do everything at this point.
But they don't want to do nothing. They do everything, but
they want it all.
Right.
That's because on social media, a lot of the influencers make it seem as if it's really easy.
Yes.
Oh, you just have to buy this stock or trade these options or get this business credit. And then bam, 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 Airbnb, Turo, all of this stuff, which all of those things do work, but there's so much effort that has to go into it.
Right.
So I miss automation. I'm like, I don't want to do nothing. I'm not interested. I don't want to do any work. And any projects that I take on, they have to be hands-on.
Oh, wow.
I'm not really interested in doing anything that requires
maybe too, I'm a little older than you. And even like whenever I tell my daughter this story, she thinks it's the craziest thing ever. But I'm like, in my high school, we literally had a computer room and it was 3 computers in the entire high school. So so what I'm saying is, and I have never, I guess, walked away from a new challenge.
So technology.
Technology is one of the things that I really are like, you know what I mean? Because it almost feels like I have to start from the beginning.
Not necessarily. And I think maybe because I'm, deeply vested in real estate, you have to know technology in real estate. Yes. So maybe that's why I'm well versed in it, but there's just no way I'm going to take on any projects today, tomorrow, or next week that require me to do a lot of physical work.
Yes.
Period.
Yeah.
And it's just period. It's even to the point that even in real estate, I'm very careful with even working with buyers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So like a first-time buyer, it's just not going to work for me. They'll have to work with someone on my team.
And why is that?
It's a lot more work. They're undecided. It's just more work than I like to put in.
Okay.
So because as we get older, we realize that we have options. like as you become an older stylist, you may choose to say, oh, I'm not going to do weaves anymore.
Yes.
I'm only going to do blowouts.
Right.
And that's because you have the option to do what you want because you work hard.
Correct.
I'm just at a point where I don't want to work. So everything has to be passive income. Now, we do understand that you're still technically working, but you're working from the management side. You're organizing, you're putting systems in place, and you're managing your systems. So with those things, that's the only thing that I'm really interested in doing.
That's a thought. It's something that maybe I'm a little slow catching up to. I do have a project in the horizon that I feel will require less people. I definitely would need one, possibly two people to get this project. And it's a pretty big project, but it will not be so hands-on as all of my projects in the past, even with my hair care line. As I am becoming a little more versed on technology and maybe like applying some AI to that, I'm needing less people, but really just kind of keeping the communication going and really getting it out there from the ground. You do need people, you know what I'm saying? Kind of, in my opinion. And maybe it's my own mentality. Maybe I haven't shifted the mindset to to strictly AI. You know what I mean? I always
it's not
feel
going to
like
be strictly
I
AI.
love bouncing ideas off of creatives and things of that nature. So maybe I am, and I hate to say this, but maybe I'm using that as a security blanket or as a crutch. You know what I mean?
Possibly.
Just to get other perspective, honestly. And I'm sure I could go to focus groups to get perspective. I don't necessarily have to employ these people, but that's kind of have been my, the way I've done things.
Yeah, for sure.
Just I whenever I'm starting a new project, I want people around me in different demographics, just so I can kind of get a vibe and an understanding of what that demographic may be feeling and some of the, some of their input, so to speak. But like I say, all of that is here. And I'm just kind of, I think, as I said, feel in charge to provide for my community. Maybe a piece of me, a piece of that is still so embedded in me that I haven't moved completely away from people, so to speak.
Understood. But I mean, I guess what the future looks like.
It is starting to look like.
Yeah, I mean, when you start looking at it that way, and not only that, when you talked about having peace, a big part of it. Yeah, I mean, how do you have peace when you're running around like the chicken with your head cut off, like all the time, like having to go from here to there to do this and do that? And I get it, because it does, even having everything automated and having all these streams of income that are passive, you still are delegating.
Yes.
So that means you still are paying someone to do something. So it's not staff per se.
Right.
And when you're hiring contractors, it is different because they technically have their own business.
Correct.
So it's a different understanding there, and they know that they can be terminated at any point, and you can pick up someone else to replace that. So it's a little different, but I think we should probably go back and introduce, because we've talked a lot and no one knows what you do and who this is, who the icon is.
Oh my goodness.
Sitting next to me.
That's
no one knows. I mean, yeah, I'm like, you're throwing out the hair care line and the salon and all that, and no one knows that this is the Queen Bee. Well, Queen T.
Yes.
This is the Queen T of the salon industry.
In that regard.
I mean, everyone knows who you are.
Right. So I am Tanya Thomas Bellamy. I have been a beauty industry professional for over 30 years, and I'm gonna leave it at that. I think I might have already said.
You already said a lot already.
And a lot of what I have done in my business models have all kind of fallen in beauty in some sort of way. I mean, I've had, the salon I'm currently in is my 10th salon. So I've had salons in 4 different states under several different names, because I really feel like I'm a follow through with a concept type person. So if that concept doesn't match the business model that's now in my head, I'll change up the name. It just kind of like to bring us some total and different energy. to get
Makes
that
sense.
point across. Yes. So I've done hair magazines. I have done hair care products. I've done candles. I've done body care. So like I said, most of my things have been in the beauty world. So now I'm trying to move into some other arenas. As I said, my new project is on a horizon. It's still in the beauty industry, but from a different perspective and a different.
So you stay beauty industry.
I feel like I'm very well versed on it. I feel like I know it. There's
100%.
always things to learn, though. I mean, hence I just went to a huge conference in Miami, and it was people or beauty industry people from all over the world there. So
what was that conference?
It's Cosmoprof, but it is one specifically for product people who own products.
Okay,
so it's really not one that they gear towards stylists. So it's a whole different type of concept. They really are making connections. So you're meeting distributors, trade, manufacturers, yes, all of those type of people. And this year they did have a lot of technology pieces in there. A lot of people.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So you picked up a little bit of information about that as well. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So you
they don't try to get on me.
Whatever. So Miss Bellamy here. Yeah, well, most people from this area remember you as Tanya Timus.
Yes, Tanya Timus.
Right. She's on Hairport International in DC.
Yep.
Then in Saya.
Yep. In Atlanta. It's Saya, but so many of the clients called it Saya.
So in Saya, which you all know was the It Salon. We used to be going through, ooh, look at that. All the pages back in the day.
So yeah, that was in Atlanta. So I did 7 locations there. And then I had a small business in Illinois. I did Privé by Tanya Timus. A lot of people knew me for that name. So I had an Atlanta location and an Illinois location. And then, of course, I wanted to come back home. And
back to the DMV.
Yes. And here I have a salon. 12 stations, 4 private rooms, as well as our makeup bar and our wine bar, and that's McKenna Jordan. And also a couple years ago relaunched a product line under a different name, and that is TRHI, which a lot of people don't know what that stands for, but that's The Real Hair Icon for Iconic Hair.
Which is her Instagram handle.
Yes.
The Real Hair Icon.
Yeah. So that's where that comes from. I feel like I have been, if not me specifically, my brands have been putting out iconic styles and iconic hair for years. So that was kind of the premise behind the name, The Real Hair Icon for Iconic Hair. Yes.
Look at that.
Right.
So all beauty industry.
All beauty, yes.
Products.
I mean, I have dabbled in real estate investments, but from that perspective, not ever really like having a full understanding, because I would hire someone like you who could give me the whole.
You are the boss of the hair industry.
Yes, I feel that way sometimes.
Definitely. So a lot of knowledge, a lot of experience with salon ownership. You've seen it from the late 80s,
yes,
right?
The late 80s.
All the way to now.
Oh, you make it sound
no, that's not. That's amazing because the industry has changed so much from the 80s to now. And you've seen all that shift.
I have.
And I'm sure you could make projections on where we're going in the hair industry.
Unfortunately, I do feel like this is an industry that's going to be one of the last that AI will really, but I really feel, right. But you know what? I'm starting to see, I mean, even speaking to their trade show I just went to, they are really trying to, I mean, they have these shampoo bowls now, the shampoo your client, so you're cutting out the back end. I mean, so many of your check-ins are done digitally, and they just know that your client, it'll text you that your client is here. So many components of the salon are going away.
You definitely can get rid of the front desk.
So
that's an easy. As
I said, I'm committed to providing jobs to my community.
But that's an easy way to get rid of.
Right, because it really is.
We were on the path to getting rid of our front desk at salon I had. So I'm telling you, you could definitely.
I don't know how people connection, and maybe it's because I'm
about the shampoo, the robot shampoo in your hair,
right? Which is very interesting because it's really generated by machines. But I do think with the amount of texture and things that we have, I don't know that it will be as efficient for
our hair. Yeah, true.
So it'd be interesting to see how that changes and
evolves over time for sure.
definitely.
Interesting.
So let's talk about you. Let's introduce yourself.
You are so funny. Some people know me as Dawn Brown.
Oh, okay.
That's my maiden name, which I'm no longer married, and I should have dropped Garrett a long time ago, but I have not, so I'm still Dawn Garrett. I have been in the hair industry for 30 years. Mm-hmm. It's been 30 years that I've been in. I've owned 4 salons. Mm-hmm. So most people know me from Icons and Bang Theory. Those are the 2 salons that most people remember me for. What I'm really proud of is with Bang Theory, that was my first 7-figure business.
Oh, wow.
So I strived really hard to kind of reach that level, and I got there, and that made me very proud. However, my love is real estate. Mm-hmm. So I've been in real estate for 24 years.
Oh, wow.
And I love real estate, probably more than the hair industry. Mm-hmm. And that is my long-term goal. So to own 100 doors at least.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I don't want to work. So, and to develop some properties. So that's my long-term goal. But I have been in real estate for a long time. That is what I actively do, even now. Mm-hmm. And I have 2 e-commerce brands.
Oh, nice. So do you want to mention those? Or not?
One is a boutique and one is a hair company.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and those are completely automated. Oh, I do not touch them at all. Nice. I do not hold any inventory, and I do not ship.
Oh, great.
That's what I was saying. So you can actually start a business where you don't have to physically touch anything. And when orders come through, I have someone that handles customer service.
That's great. It's amazing. I strive to get there because, of course, I'm very hands-on with my PRHI for Iconic Hair. I'm choosing everything. I am working with chemists and all of those things. And like I say, a part of it is just I have to step into the way things are happening now. But I really love the process, and I love seeing my little baby and then grow into. Mm-hmm. So it is my goal to actually be able to turn it over and step away. Not from a name standpoint, but I would love for somebody like a Procter & Gamble to do me an offer like they did over. Right. Yes, that is the goal.
Is to be acquired.
Yes, definitely.
You know, I think you build all these businesses with the hope of acquisition at some point.
Definitely.
Well, that should be the goal. Mm-hmm. I know that's not the goal for everyone, but that should be the goal.
And it's funny because I felt like I was approached years ago about when I had Saya in Atlanta, how we could do that in every state, how they could make it franchise opportunities, but it became very challenging at that point where we were with dealing with the Black salon. How does it? I mean, I feel like
that's a challenge all in and of itself.
I hate to name other people, but then I saw that the Dry Bar came along and did it, but they were targeting a whole different audience, and they like really were able to, I mean, I don't want to, now they don't have as many doors, but that was something that they were able to do. For us, we come in so many different shades, we do so many different things. It's very hard to really, and I'm sure there's a way.
There's a way.
And
I think the difference with Dry Bar is the organization from the beginning. A lot of people don't know that Ali Webb, her brother-in-law, worked for Yahoo. So you have the right connections up front, and they were able to raise a lot of rounds of capital up front in order to expand to that degree. So it wasn't like a lot of Black businesses where we bootstrap our businesses.
Correct.
And another thing that I would like us to talk about this in detail in the future, but how there's a lack of partnership in the Black community. It is so hard to get people to do joint ventures with you or to partner because everyone wants it all for themselves. And sometimes it just makes more sense to have 50% of $1 million than to have 100% of 100,000.
Correct.
But a lot of people just can't see that and are not willing to go that route.
A lot of people just want to see their name on the door. You know what I mean? To feel like
you ain't got to put my name on nothing.
You know what's funny?
I don't care.
All the businesses, I really only had one that had my name on it. It was never, by Tanya Thomas.
Yeah, like I don't ever care. You don't even have to. I'm that girl that's gonna be sitting in the back of the room,
right,
counting my ducats.
Which that's a story for another day.
Nobody has to know my name or who I am.
Fame, for certain.
I don't care.
Right.
I don't need my name.
I think we're living in such a fame society these days that people really want to see their name in lights.
Well, they can have it.
More than they care about what's in that account. You know what I mean?
I don't care at all.
Right.
And not only that, I don't want nobody asking me for nothing.
Well, that's going to happen either way. I feel like.
If you got something, they be like, girl.
Trust me, somebody going to know what's going on, even if your name not on the door.
That's when you go to dinner and then it's like, oh, girl, go ahead and slide your American Express over the table. That's how it turns into that.
Yes. So
I think this has been an exceptionally well talk.
Yes.
There will be a lot of future conversations coming. But I think we should ask them what they want to hear. Like, what topics would you like us to discuss? Would you like us to discuss more about beauty and the beauty industry? Because there are, total, 50 years of experience over here.
I think we counted up 60.
Maybe 60 years of experience in the beauty industry. I mean, you had 7 salons, I had 4, so that's 11 salons. Mm-hmm. We both have done product lines. Tanya's product line is more custom, where I just do private label. So, those are 2 totally different approaches, which both can work. It just really depends on what your goal is. And so, would you want to hear more about the beauty industry, starting e-commerce businesses, real estate investing, entrepreneurship as a whole?
Yes, some of the ups and downs. Because maybe I think so many people feel like they get to a certain age and they don't want to step out there and try entrepreneurship. But I think we can both attest to we are still evolving and still coming up with new projects. For me in my 50s, Dawn hasn't got there yet.
I'm not there yet. I'm holding on to these 40s for dear life. I'm holding on to
still just kind of moving through life in a fearless manner, because that is the way
That's
to
so
actually
hard.
build wealth. Yeah.
It's so hard, because I'm going to tell you, even after I closed my last business, I went into a depression. I wasn't doing anything, and I was depressed. I didn't do anything for like 2 years.
Really?
Yeah. A lot of people don't realize that. I just fell off the map.
Well, yeah, that sounds like a whole nother. So if you guys want to
it was just it's a lot. And I think, with the things that we go through in life, with divorce and then the children getting older and moving out, relationships and things like that. And even just the expectations we have for ourselves and not meeting them when we thought we should meet them.
Correct.
It just does something to you emotionally, which, we talk a lot about like wealth, but that health, that mental health is a big part of wealth. So, we're going to put a poll out to see what people would like for us to talk about.
And it is also our goal to interview other entrepreneurs in different avenues and different spaces, because so much to learn about entrepreneurship and their journey. I know like some of my biggest aha moments have come from people in totally different industries.
100%.
Right. I can remember going to a seminar, a Harley Davidson seminar, and I was like, why am I doing this? I left there, feeling like, wow, I can conquer this.
Motorcycles.
Yes. It was really more about believing in their brand and how their brand stands apart. So, some of the core values to entrepreneurship are there for you, no matter what the brand is. So there's so much to learn about business.
That is
so many different avenues.
That's an interesting point. Yeah, very interesting.
So if you guys want to hear from other entrepreneurs, say not in the beauty or real estate industry, I feel like Dawn has a ton of them in her phone.
So do you.
Right. So we can probably get on here and hear from and learn some things from as well.
For sure.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we'll be back in 2 weeks.
And I wanted to put a pin in something you said. She had the salon's bang theory and
icons.
Yes.
Yeah.
So hence our name, Icon Theory. So my product line is TRHI for Iconic Hair. So we've really been making a play on the word icon because we do feel like we're both icons,
we are icons
in this industry.
And you're an icon too.
Yes. So how do our icon ladies step up to the plate and become an icon in your own way and in your own business? For those that don't know the meaning of it, look it up because we all can be an icon.
Yeah.
Even if not an entrepreneur, even though me and Dawn have different takes
everyone
on that.
Should be an entrepreneur.
And I don't feel that way, but you know,
everyone should have an extra stream of income.
Yes. So maybe become an icon in something, but maybe not.
Maybe not an entrepreneur,
correct.
But you should definitely have a business venture.
Yeah, definitely.
Something.
So we would love to hear from you guys because I feel like we can find some people to do some of these things that you guys are interested in out there. And this is, like I said, Icon Theory, and this is our theory on everything going on with women and in
we
business.
Got different theories.
We do. So it should make for some very interesting conversations.
I'm the nice one. It's like...
Well, I guess it depends on who you ask. That is, you know.
That's all right. I'm the nice one.
All right.
At times.
You see, I'm not even going to speak on that. But anyway,
it's a matter of perspective.
It surely is.
You know, I'm sure everyone has their opinion on that.
On us both. But anyway,
that's right.
That's a whole other story.
We don't care.
Right. Well, I think that's one of the things we can definitely agree on for certain.
We don't care.
Yes.
But we're going to love you anyway.
Right.
So anyway, we're going to log off.
Yeah.
And we'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
Sounds great. Bye.